The renovation company went bankrupt halfway through the project. Is there anyone worse off than me? Initially, I was afraid to hire workers directly, thinking it wouldn't be reliable, so I chose a publicly listed company for the renovation. The basic renovation alone cost 200,000 yuan, not including the central air conditioning and balcony enclosure, and I had to buy the tiles myself. I never expected that after the water and electricity were done and the tiles were halfway installed, the renovation company would suddenly go bankrupt. Just a few days ago, the workers were working enthusiastically, but now it's all quiet.
Recently, a person from Zhengzhou posted on social media complaining that their house renovation was abruptly halted because the renovation company went bankrupt. She had paid 60% of their renovation deposit and, including material costs, had invested a total of 130,000 yuan. Now, due to the company's bankruptcy, the work has stopped. The foreman told her that they couldn't provide the materials anymore, so they had to stop the work. The designer said the company had been delaying salaries for several months and they were planning to resign. The workers said they hadn't been paid either. The previously active renovation group chat has also gone silent. What's even more unbelievable is that the bankrupt renovation company is not a small workshop, but Dong Yi Ri Sheng, known as the aircraft carrier of home renovation. Public information shows that Dong Yi Ri Sheng mainly engages in overall home renovation, engineering construction, primary material agency, and home furnishing services for individual customers. The company was established in November 1996 and was listed on the Shenzhen Stock Exchange in February 2014, known as the first stock of home decoration. It was one of the first renovation companies listed on the stock exchange. The person said they chose Dong Yi Ri Sheng because it was a listed company and should have been reliable, but unexpectedly, even a big company could run away. In fact, the problem isn't just in Zhengzhou. Some have noted that other cities like Wuxi and Wuhan are also affected. Reports indicate that Dong Yi Ri Sheng has lost its ability to fulfill contracts due to a broken capital chain. Employees are forced to resign and are owed wages, while some consumers and suppliers are struggling to defend their rights. A recently resigned employee from Beijing's Dong Yi Ri Sheng mentioned that the situation in Beijing is slightly better, with no store closures or runaways yet, but wages are still unpaid, and many suppliers have not received their payments. In Wuhan, the Dong Yi Ri Sheng flagship store on Heping Avenue was also found to be deserted. On May 15th, a person visited and found a notice stating that due to the lease expiration, the store would relocate to a new office in Hankou starting May 14th. The new office address mentioned is actually the registered location of Dong Yi Ri Sheng Home Decoration Group's Wuhan branch. On the same morning, several homeowners and material suppliers were there inquiring about the halted renovations and unpaid bills. The news of Dong Yi Ri Sheng's bankruptcy has caused quite a stir. Employees were initially bewildered by the sudden news, as everything seemed normal at work until the rumors of the boss running away started spreading. Everyone was left confused and in a state of panic. On May 23rd, the Shenzhen Stock Exchange issued a letter of concern to Dong Yi Ri Sheng, asking the company to clarify whether the reports of running away in multiple branch offices were true. The letter noted recent media reports indicating that Dong Yi Ri Sheng's branches in Wuxi, Zhengzhou, Wuhan, and other places were rumored to have run away and had basically lost the ability to fulfill contracts. The Shenzhen Stock Exchange demanded that Dong Yi Ri Sheng comprehensively verify and explain the operational status and personnel management situation of the company and its subsidiaries, and whether there were any serious impacts on business activities such as store closures, suspensions, cancellations, or bankruptcies, and whether the media reports were true. The company was also required to promptly inform shareholders and fully disclose risks. Looking at the Dong Yi Ri Sheng operational data, it's clear that bankruptcy was inevitable. In 2022 and 2023, Dong Yi Ri Sheng suffered consecutive losses, with a deficit of 744 million yuan in 2022 and 208 million yuan in 2023. In the first quarter of 2024, the company's operating income was 444 million yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 20.7%, and a net profit of negative 116 million, compared to negative 90 million yuan in the same period last year. As of the first quarter of this year, the asset-liability ratio reached 97.1%. Industry insider in building materials stated that the renovation industry is closely tied to the real estate market. With the real estate market sinking, everyone involved is struggling to stay afloat. Whether it's home or commercial renovation, once a project is completed, there's uncertainty about where the next one will come from. People say that industries related to real estate have entered an era of financial explosions, with downstream real estate companies continually defaulting. Large home renovation companies are showing large amounts of bad debts in their financial reports, leading to liquidity crises and even bankruptcies. Last October, Gao Feng, the chairman of Shenzhen Haida Decoration, publicly sought help on social media, offering to sell equity or partial shares. Haida Decoration, a well-established name in Shenzhen's decoration industry for 32 years, has projects across the country and is one of the most awarded companies in the industry. Gao Feng listed some of Haida Decoration's assets: nearly 60,000 square meters of office buildings in Haida Science Park, 15,000 square meters of undeveloped land in Longgan Liyang Haida Science Park, and 40,000 square meters of industrial park in Xili, Nanshan. He even included his private villa, hoping to find a buyer to save the company. It is said that Haida Decoration was affected by companies like Vanka, Country Garden, Agile, and Exa Group, leading to overdue loans. Initially, it was just a 20 million yuan overdue loan, but it triggered a chain reaction, with other cooperating banks also cutting off loans, resulting in a total debt of 290 million yuan. The equity of two of Haida's decoration subsidiaries was frozen, and Gao Feng himself was listed as a dishonest person. Haida Decoration's receivables are still 300 million yuan, mostly from real estate projects contracted before 2019. These receivables have been delayed for 5 years, with some debts extending for 10 years, making payment distant. Many triangular debts exist, with upstream real estate companies delaying payments and downstream suppliers applying pressure, accumulating over time and causing Haida Decoration's current predicament. In China, during the rapid development of the real estate industry, triangular debts were common, with developers delaying payments to suppliers who in turn owed material suppliers and labor companies. Previously, triangular debts were resolved as houses were sold and payments were received. However, with the current downturn in the housing market, developers face sales obstacles and increasing debt pressure, making debt issues with suppliers more prominent and difficult to resolve. Gold Mantis, a leading company in the construction and decoration industry, also a large listed company, faced challenges when its key partner Evergrande defaulted, turning billions of receivables into bad debts. Since 2022, the company has been in a difficult situation. Although there are no rumors of bankruptcy or closure, it is struggling to stay afloat. Trendzone, which grew rapidly, relying on Evergrande, found itself in crisis when Evergrande defaulted. The company's annual reports for 2021 and 2022 show losses of around 1.2 billion yuan each. On April 12, 2023, Trendzone announced that Trendzone Decoration had filed for bankruptcy.
Why is there so much debt in the building materials industry? Why are there so many defaulters? Let me show you. See, there's no one in the market. And the bigger the business, the bigger the debt. Why? Because rent, utilities, and staff salaries are fixed, while income is decreasing. When the savings are depleted, all that's left is debt. Many building materials business owners talk about million-dollar deals, but the reality is they can't even come up with 10,000 yuan. The profitable period for the building materials industry is over, and the elimination round has begun. It's a trying time for business leaders.
The sluggish real estate market has also impacted the list of home renovation companies. Recently, the domestic tile giant Marco Polo reinitiated its IPO, sparking widespread anger. On May 16th, the Chinese stock market held its first review meeting under the new listing regulations. Marco Polo, a renowned name in the home decoration industry, was the first company to be reviewed. However, instead of approval, it faced a decision to postpone the review. Marco Polo is one of China's largest manufacturers and sellers of building ceramics. The skepticism towards Marco Polo stems from two main points. It is not an innovative company and is part of the upstream and downstream real estate supply chain, and its net profits have been declining for 2 consecutive years. In the first quarter of this year, Marco Polo's operating income and net profit both fell by more than 16% year-on-year, and its net cash flow turned negative. Similar to Haida Decoration, Marco Polo has significant receivables owed by real estate companies. By the end of 2023, Marco Polo's receivables amounted to nearly 2.7 billion yuan, accounting for 30% of its operating income for the period. The provision for bad debts on these receivables reached over 1 billion yuan, with bad debts from Evergrande alone exceeding 500 million yuan. Media research found that Marco Polo's actual controller also owns another listed company, Sitong Company, which also sells tiles and has even worse performance than Marco Polo. Despite Marco Polo's net profit declining steadily over the past 3 years by an average of 100 million yuan annually, and its cash flow dropping to negative 111 million yuan in the first quarter of this year, a 132.7% decrease from the same period last year, it made a surprise dividend payout just before its planned IPO. Such actions have sparked widespread anger, leading to the Shenzhen Stock Exchange listing committee postponing the review of Marco Polo's listed application. A netizen suggested that relevant authorities should visit home furnishing malls before approving such listings. Home furnishing malls are likely even quieter than the stock market nowadays. This netizen's observation is spot on. Let's follow the lens of netizens to see the current state of China's home furnishing and building materials market. Look at how desolate the building materials market is now. There's not a single person, not a single customer, not even a store clerk. Only some bosses are here looking after their stores, still paying rent.
This is a building materials market in a county-level city in Hebei. It looks quite large, but how desolate is it really? It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and after walking around, it's clear that other building materials markets are also desolate. The only car in sight is a logistics delivery vehicle.
From the footage, the scale of this building materials market is indeed very large, and the variety of goods is comprehensive. Many stores have already closed, while others remain open. However, in this vast market, not a single person is seen, making it eerily quiet. The videographers showed that some roads have grown moss due to the lack of foot traffic, indicating just how deserted the market is now.
It's 4 p.m. on a Sunday, and look at our market. Besides my store being open, all others are closed. Saying that physical stores are crushed by high rents is only half true. The shop next to mine has become vacant again. You might not believe it, but the rent is only 3,000 yuan, not per month, but per year. The shop is over 30 square meters, and even has a loft. Despite this, there are still many empty shops in our market.
The owner of this tile shop believes that the lack of business in physical stores is not just due to competition from e-commerce, but mainly because of the poor overall market conditions. The building materials market has hit rock bottom. Despite what China's economic experts say, business owners can see the real situation clearly. On May 15th, information released by the China Building Materials Circulation Association showed that the National Building Materials Home Furnishing Prosperity Index (BHI) for April was 117.7, a month-on-month decrease of 2.11 points, and a year-on-year decrease of 25 points. The sales of building materials and home furnishing stores above a certain scale nationwide in April amounted to 111.5 billion yuan, a month-on-month decrease of 6.9% and a year-on-year decrease of 32%. The cumulative sales from January to April was 424.3 billion yuan, a year-on-year decrease of 12.5%. The BHI is compiled by collecting relevant data from 50,000 designated building materials and home furnishing merchants. It reflects not only the prosperity and market demands of building materials and decor, but also the strength of rigid demand from the real estate market. The sharp decline in this index in April also indicates the depression of China's building materials and home furnishing market. This is despite the old-for-new housing policies introduced across China and the so-called little spring in the real estate market touted by official statements. The downturn in the building materials market has also led to bleak business for the downstream home furnishing industry. Red Star Macaline, China's second-largest home retail company, had 362 stores by the end of 2023, with a total operating area of 21.7 million square meters. In recent years, with declining market consumption, intense price wars, and high operating costs, many home furnishing stores have exited high-end shopping malls. This has led to low occupancy rates, operational difficulties, and even forced closures for Red Star Macaline. Last year, Red Star Macaline closed 16 stores. According to its 2023 annual performance report, its operating income was 11.5 billion, a decrease of 18.6% from the previous year. The net profit attributable to shareholders of the listed company was negative 2.2 billion, a year-on-year decrease of 497%. Recently, Alibaba's asset platform showed that 4 Red Star Macaline home furnishing stores were up for auction, with total assets exceeding 2.7 billion yuan. Due to the high operating costs, many stores in the malls have closed, leaving customers seeking compensation from the malls, which has often been refused. Even the Red Star Macaline malls that are still operating normally are struggling. Recently, a netizen from Hunan visited the Red Star Macaline in Changsha and found that the entire mall was almost devoid of customers.
I'm now at Red Star Macaline in Changsha. On a big weekend, the place is empty, pitch black. If you didn't know, you might think it's a place for escape rooms. Being here alone in broad daylight is quite scary. All the top brands are here, but it's so dark and empty. You can't see anyone anywhere. This shows how difficult business is this year.
Red Star Macaline peaked in 2019, achieving its highest revenue of 16.5 billion yuan and its highest net profit of 4.5 billion yuan. After that, the pandemic hit, causing a sharp decline in revenue by 13.6% and of net profit. Post-pandemic, with the collapse of the real estate industry, the related industrial chain was also impacted. Large malls like Red Star Macaline, with high costs, have lost their advantages, making it difficult to regain their former glory. Not only are physical stores struggling, but now home furnishing e-commerce is also experiencing financial explosions. On April 22nd, the flagship store of the well-known furniture brand Yofan Art, dubbed the Zara of home furnishing, announced on that due to the sudden cessation of bank loans, the company's capital chain broke suddenly, leading to a rapid deterioration in the business. The team has been disbanded, and the store has reported its closure to Tmall, preparing to enter bankruptcy liquidation. Currently, Yofan Art's flagship store, which once had 1.6 million followers, can no longer be found on Taobao. The company's official website is also accessible. Many consumers who bought but did not receive orders from the flagship store cannot get refunds. The store's customer service has lost contact, and most of the contact information left on various public channels is no longer in service. The store's announcement even directed consumers to seek compensation from the platform. However, on social media platforms like Xiaohongshu and Weibo, many consumers voiced their inability to get refunds. Public information shows that Yofan Art's founder, Li Shangkang, worked at PricewaterhouseCoopers for 10 years before founding Art in 2012. The company, headquartered in Beijing's 798 Art District, specializes in artistic furniture under the slogan Affordable Art Furniture, offering a wide range of items from beds and tables to paintings and decorations. The main customers are well-educated middle-class individuals seeking a quality life. Over the years, Yofan Art has become a regular in Taobao's top 10 home furnishing categories and has opened many offline stores. Yofan Art doesn't own its own factories and looks more like a supply chain management company. In 2019, Yofan Art announced its supply chain development plan called Van Chain, which supports the company's back-end capabilities, including product design, supply chain, services including delivery, installation, and after-sales, and IT systems. Yofan Art's partners include listed companies like Open and Piano and real estate companies like Country Garden and Orange Home. During the 2018 Double 11 Shopping Festival, Yofan Arts set sales records: 11 million yuan in 1 minute, 50 million yuan in 29 minutes, 100 million yuan in 1 hour and 52 minutes, with a year-on-year sales growth of 163%. Yofan Art became the top seller of American-style furniture on Tmall and the top seller of designer furniture. In January 2019, it completed nearly 100 million yuan in Series A financing. However, the dazzling halo has become a thing of the past. No matter how prosperous the company was, it cannot withstand the impact of the overall economic environment. Like other real estate-related businesses, Yofan Art peaked in 2019 and has been declining since, until it went bankrupt due to a sudden break in its capital chain. As the real estate industry's downturn continues, the winter for home furnishing and building materials market will persist. More companies will face crises, with more incidents of business closures and financial explosions.